To the fifth MMA history video, UFC 5. The first time limits were introduced, but still no judges. 20 minutes for the quarterfinal, semis, and final matches. But also there was a super fight this time. We'll start on that with Ken Shamrock and Royce Gracie. The only man to beat Ken Shamrock in these was Royce. This was 1985 in Charlotte, North Carolina. April the 7th, 1995 in Charlotte, Carolina. And it was at the Independence Arena in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we got the super fight. I remember this. Again, I quite liked it. It was quite interesting, but obviously being an anorak, I quite liked it. But it was, funny old one. Royce Gracie pulled guard most of the fight, and it had an extra 5 minutes on the spot. So it's 30 minutes for this. It ran over a minute, the 30 minutes. It went 31 minutes. And then they did an extra 5 minutes on the spot, but it was declared a draw. I just remember Royce Gracie pulling guard and hacking him, Shamrock, towards the back, and seeing these big bruises well up on his back. But yeah, that was about pretty much what happened in the fight. I think Ken Shamrock came out with wrestling boots on, so that disincluded kicking, I think, from what I remember. But anyway, so that's that one. Then we got alternate fights. David Beneteau defeats. Going to leave out what martial arts they are now. Too much of that. So David Beneteau defeats Aspel Cancio on TKO punches. Then Guy Mezger defeats John Dowdy, TKO punches. So that's the alternate fights. And then you've got the quarterfinals. Big John Hess defeats Andy Anderson, TKO punches. Big John Hess in there. And then you've got the other quarterfinal, Todd Medina, El Tiburon, his nickname. John Medina defeats Larry Curitan on submission forearm choke. And then Oleg Taktarov, I saw him in many of the old Russian MMA fights. He defeats Ernie Verdicchia, submission choke. Then you got Dan the Beast Severn defeats Joe Charles. Dan the Beast Severn beats the Ghetto Man, Joe Charles. Then you got the semi-finals. David Beneteau defeats Todd Medina. And then Dan Severn beats Oleg Taktarov. That was an evil fight. Remember him dropping knees on him, all sorts, but at a bit of weight advantage. But both really good grapplers there. And then Dan Severn defeats David Beneteau in the final. So Dan Severn was the winner, and then you had basically a draw for the super fight. It was called Return of the Beast. This one. Got to mention also, UFC 3 was called The American Dream, and UFC 4 was called Revenge of the Warriors. And this one was called Return of the Beast. It's on to UFC 6, which was in the same year. So a lot going on in the history of the sport here. Bang. But that was UFC 5 in Charlotte, North Carolina, April the 7th, 1995, in the Independence Arena Charlotte, North Carolina. Bang.